guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tabitha Cerberus, and today I'm showing you how I made my favorite cosplay of 2023. This costume was very much hard to make on a prop level because I don't really make props, but at the same time had a lot of sewing skills, so I'm very excited to share it with you. The cosplay is Youko from the Japanese phone game Onmyoji. He's one of my favorite characters in the game, design-wise. Basically, he is a fox demon with a giant scroll on his back and a tail. He has other skins, of course, but I really like his OG skin. Just to give you the heads up, I did not record a lot of this construction, so there's not going to be a lot of video of how I made certain things. But the first thing that I did not film was me making the harness, but it's a simple plastic sheet on my back with straps over my shoulders and straps around my waist, and then a metal rod for the tail to insert into. The pattern I used for designing the tail was by a cosplayer named Kinpatsu Cosplay. She has a pattern for tails and a video on making this tail in particular. However, in her design, the tail swings upward. I switched this around because I'm going to have a giant scroll on my back, so my tail swings downwards. It was a very easy to modify this pattern, and I did have to modify it just a little bit because I am a bit shorter, and I didn't want the tail to drag to the ground. But that was just simple things that I could fix with my printer. Everything is listed in her video and in the pattern, so it didn't take very long to make this. I think the hardest part was trying to shorten the rod, because the rod I use that's connected to the harness was longer than I needed it to be, and every time I kept putting the tail on, it kept wanting to jab through the foam. So I had to saw that down a bit, and then I rounded the edges of that rod. It is a little trickier to still put on and off, but it works better now that I've shortened it, and I probably could make it easier if I shortened the rod a little bit more, but I think I can live with what I've done. I'm going to just let the video play through so you can see just me constructing the tail. Also, I was in the middle of moving. I lost my mask for my foam building. I have a window open and a fan going, but do not do what I do. Safety first, wear a mask. I'm dumb. Don't do what I did and not wear a mask. But like I said, I was in the middle of moving, and I on a time crunch, and I just kind of went for it. And a lot of my friends judged me, but you know what? It happens sometimes. But please, safety first. Make sure you wear a mask. And I apologize for not wearing one.
Saturday, 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 Saturday.
Once I had the tail made, I wrapped it with cling wrap so that I can make a pattern for the fur. This was also shown in the video that Kinpatsu made. This is where I kind of ran into some difficulties with the fur. I gave myself seam allowance, but I guess it wasn't enough seam allowance because she recommends like putting a zipper in or putting Velcro in. And I wanted to put Velcro in so that I could take the fur on and off in case I had like a future cosplay that needed a tail. However, I guess like I said, I didn't give myself enough seam allowance. It was such a tight fit that I couldn't even add Velcro. So once I had the fur tugged on, I had to sew it closed. So this fur is like permanently on this tail unless I seam rip it out. And I kind of wish I knew ahead of time to know, like, she didn't like give too much detail on how much seam allowance, but like it looked like an inch, and I gave myself an inch, but it was not enough. So I regret not giving myself more room to work with. Maybe one day I'll remake the fur cover, but for now I'm just not gonna mess with it. Plus, I don't even know when I'll do another character with a tail that's similar to Yoko's tail. So, heads up, if you use this pattern, give yourself a little more seam allowance. Unless you know exactly what you're doing, then go for it.
Saturday, 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 Saturday. Saturday, Saturday.
Now, for most of the garments on this cosplay for Youko, um, I used most of my Hanfu patterns that I own. The only one that I didn't use those patterns for was the pants. I used the Hakama pants from the McCall's pattern M7525 to make his pants. However, these pants go all the way to the floor, where in Art of Youko, I his like pant legs in just like a few inches above the ankle. So I had to like modify the pattern just a bit to shorten them. And even after I made them, I still had to shorten them some more because uh you know, it's really hard to tell what the finished length is on certain things until you actually make them, even after you shortened it. Uh for the top undershirt, I used a long sleeve hanfu pattern, and then for the overcoat, I used a long jacket uh, overcoat pattern with the big sleeves. Uh, it was very confusing on what I should go with because his design is kind of a mixture of different cultures, which I think is just his character in general. I had to use a new technique, which was kind of like quilting almost. There was a lot of top stitching, quilting pieces together to make his sleeves on the overcoat. And as you can see right here, I have like all sorts of different shades of blues and greens. The trim I'm putting on right now is actually white that I had to dye to the specific shade of green that matches the fabric on the sleeve. And I'm actually very surprised that I got like right on the nose with the color on the dye. I think that was a big hurrah for me, was matching the dye to my fabric. Uh, and the sleeves I think took the longest in this entire costume because of that quilting aspect. There's a lot of top stitching also involved. Um, well, not top stitching, satin stitching involved. Uh, Applique work is not my favorite. I use a lot of Wonder Under to keep things in place while I satin stitch them down. Um, I always feel like every time I do applique work, it just looks super funky. Like it always either looks wrinkled or like warped. I tried my best. Like I said, this is still like one of my favorite costumes I made of 2023. I just love the look. I love how wonderful it came out. I use so many different kinds of interfacings that I will link below in the description. Um, the piece I'm working on here in this clip is the I would guess you would call it a neck piece slash collar. Um, it drapes in the back and it hides right underneath the waist belt, and then it has like little, I guess I'm gonna call them wings or collars that attach to the opening of the overcoat, and you'll see what I mean in the overview video of me dressing the mannequin up in this costume, so that you can get a better look. uh, I think this was kind of fun to work on. I had to actually drape the design because I was trying to figure out how to get this to look very, smooth and nice. And the draping came out wonderful. so I just went for it after the test drape went well. There is a lot of trim on this costume, and I don't have links to all of the trim I used, but you probably would want to use your own if you are making this character. I do recommend, if you're making this character, have different types of rollers available. I was using this thin one for the trim, but I had a bigger one for like working on like the uh, the quilting aspects of the sleeves. Uh, but like I said, you'll see how everything is put together in the final clips. Um, and I will also like link, not link since I don't have a lot of the links to the fabrics I use. I will describe the fabrics I use for the overcoat and link fabrics to the ones I know I have links to. That way, in case you want to know what I was using and such, you can. Um, like I said, I apologize for not having enough video of this cosplay. Um, in between moving and the convention, I just kind of like forgot to videotape, or I didn't have room to set up the camera. Um, but please enjoy it, and I hope you like this costume as much as I do. And if you're a fan of this game, please tell me what your favorite character is in the link below. Uh, I hope you enjoy some music as you watch the rest of this clip. Psych! I wanted to show you guys the scroll. I don't have any video of me making the scroll, but at least with this footage, you can see the inside. It's made out of different thicknesses of EVA foam from, I believe, like half millimeter or something to at least 6 millimeter thick EVA foam. And it's also made with at least 1 inch PVC piping. So I hope maybe this footage can show you how it's made. The EVA foam that's wrapped around it to make the scroll is 2 pieces glued together, and then another piece down the middle to give that like wrapped around scroll look. I then plasti dipped the whole thing, or at least most of it, and then spray painted it with a airbrush. Um, and then it's all velcroed so that it's either you can take it apart or and like roll it up to transport it, and the PVC piping comes apart as well. Uh, so I hope this small footage helps you with making the scroll. Please enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you. Bye.